I witnessed a bride expose her cheating fiancé at the altar, and her method was so calculated it left 300 guests in complete shock. As a wedding photographer for over a decade, I've seen my share of disasters: parent drunk, best men, family feuds, even a groom who fainted and broke his nose. But nothing prepared me for what happened at Melissa and David's wedding last spring. The day started perfectly. Melissa was radiant in her custom gown, surrounded by 6 bridesmaids, including her sister Claire and best friend Jen. David and his groomsmen were relaxed, drinking whiskey and joking as I captured their pre-ceremony shots. I noticed something odd though. Parent Melissa seemed eerily calm. Most brides have at least some nervous energy, but she was almost methodical. When I commented on her composure, she smiled and said, "Today is about truth, and I am very ready for it." The ceremony began traditionally in the historic church filled with 300 guests. When Melissa walked down the aisle, David looked genuinely moved. Everything seemed perfect until the minister reached that infamous question: Pater, if anyone has reason, these two should not be wed. A collective gasp filled the church. The minister looked confused, clearly thinking it was a joke. David nervously laughed, whispering, "Babe, what are you doing? I'd like to read something." Melissa said, her voice unwavering. She pulled out her phone and addressed the guests. "I apologize for what's about to happen, but I believe marriages should be built on honesty." She began reading text messages, dozens of them, between David and her bridesmaid Jen. Explicit messages, plans they'd made, times they'd been together, including just 2 days before the wedding. The time and send details were devastating. David's face drained of color. Jen tried to flee, but Claire blocked the side exit. "I've paid for this venue in full," Melissa continued, her voice remarkably steady. "Here is an open bar and a beautiful meal waiting. I invite everyone to stay and celebrate truth, if not marriage. David and Jen are not welcome." She handed her bouquet to her mother, walked back down the aisle alone, and left with her head held high. What happened next was surreal. After a shocked silence, David's mother started sobbing. Jen was escorted out by security Melissa had apparently arranged in advance, and remarkably, almost everyone stayed. The reception became a strange but powerful celebration of Melissa's strength. I later learned she had discovered the affair weeks earlier, but decided the public revelation was necessary. Appeared not for revenge, but because David had cheated on his previous fiancé Refetters too. 6 months later, I photographed Melissa again, not for a wedding, but for the launch of her support network for people who've experienced betrayal before marriage. "The most painful moment of my life became my purpose," she told me as I adjusted my camera. "Sometimes the most important vow you make is to yourself."